like to call to order the Town of Selma Special Tourism Advisory Board meeting for today, Thursday, June 27th, 2024. Call to order. And we're doing approval of agenda. Everyone should have gotten the agenda right in front of them for reviewing.
I'll first to approve the agenda.
Do I have a second? That's it. All right, consent of the agenda. And the approval of the minutes. I know that Dalton just sent out the minutes, it was for the past two, right? Yes, yep. There's a lot. Yeah, there was a lot, a ton. Okay. Sounds good. Motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
A second.
Second.
Thank you. All right. We're gonna dive right into Railroad Days discussion with Nikki.
So I want to first update you on our sponsorship status. We are, as you know, we're in our fiscal year rollover for the town, so we are trying to regroup on what we've got for 2024, so that gets moved into the next year. So as of right now, we have received $13,250. That is from a few annual event sponsors. We have some that have reached out and are interested in those, but we haven't received funding for that yet. So we have, and one of those has already signed an agreement. So they're confirmed, but they just, when you all follow the same budget year, sometimes you have to wait. So that's why we do an actual contract with them so that we can go on and start the process, but it doesn't quite, happen till then. I know the Visitors Bureau approved the $3,000 sponsorship as well from their end. So that was another one. It's not one that we've received on hand, but it is one that we have confirmation and approval for. So we have, right now we have Gateway as an annual event sponsor, Adventure, Coffee on Rayford. They are all three what we've received. We have a contract for Academy Sports, and that's an official contract from Academy and invoice. So they are already in the process. And we have the approval of the Visitors Bureau. So that's five annual event sponsors that we've already received in. And we have interest from Rick Beanie and Vault so far as additional annual events.
And a verbal interest from Purnell.
And for the annual event sponsor? Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. I wasn't sure exactly which level. I know that.
I need to double check. I was talking, I think I was implying you should do the annual since I was like, just moved into town anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean.
Well, if you have anybody on the fence, I'm fixing to print the Centennial banner. Okay. And the Centennial marketing, like the promotional things. We're doing like the hand fans because it's going to be during the daytime in July. So I'm fixing to print those. So if you have anybody on the fence, it's like I want to do it. I can even get them a contract. Okay. That says they want to do it. So that way they get included on that first. The next one. We've already printed the banner for All Americans. So,
that's a good way to push anyway. Say, hey, you want your name on the banner. I got you. I will do that.
Yep. So it's 365 days of promotional in one ask, and I think that's really. I think it's a good way not to have to so, but we do have Dwayne's HTR Southern Properties, Withers Ravenel, Reinhardt Family Company, Reinhardt Fire Services, and the Food Hall as additional sponsors that were not necessarily on the annual event level. We have received contact from Twin Rivers IV. They just opened in Cleveland. Brio Wellness, KS Bank, and I'm trying to think. I got a couple in my inbox. Hidden Temple Choice. Anyway, so I'm trying to update y'all on the ones that have reached out and are interested. If you guys have contacts that you you've already talked to that I didn't just mention, if you don't mind reaching back out to them again, that way we can get them included.
Can you send us, the spreadsheet?
Yeah, I think did I send the spreadsheet?
I don't know if you sent it. I know you printed it and I had
Yeah,
it
we
last,
had it last time.
Maybe I printed it.
but if you wouldn't mind, if you'll just email that to me and then I'll continue to look through it, you
Okay.
know, and cause I'm here to help in any way. Has anybody reached out to father and son since they have a huge contract
I
doing the
did
Selma?
reach out to them.
Civic Center?
I did reach out, but I have not, they were gonna discuss it at their meeting. Thursday was a week ago.
Let's, you wanna follow up with them?
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah,
Because
do you know?
I don't know. I just see that we're paying them to do a lot of stuff. Anybody there?
Yes, I'll send them a email, and, cause he had emailed me back and said that they were, gonna discuss it in their meeting.
Great,
So
thank you.
I'll send them an email and just ask, if they came to any decisions on that. Yes. I've reached out several times. If you don't mind, because I reached out several times, I know he had sent me an email and then you guys had talked to him after that, and then he was interested, I think, maybe in the annual event sponsor. So when I emailed him back and said that I know you guys have been talking, but I didn't have a definite on what he was interested in, but I haven't got anything back. So if you want to ask him and just, and have him contact me, I'll be glad to get him rolling on that. So I think we're doing really good with that. I would continue pushing that. We do have an opportunity from WRAL. They have contacted the Visitors Bureau. Eric, do you know for sure, that's by the way it reads, it's an in-kind, that's normally what they do. They do their media marketing as a sponsorship amount. Is that?
I cannot speak anything to that
That's fine.
arrangement.
Okay. Okay. It's what it appears, because it's kind of a contract, but what they wrote up prices out the advertisement. I wasn't in the meeting the last one, so whenever we brought that up. So what I've been doing, I think it come out to like 13,000 or something, and our highest sponsorship is the 7,500. So when we discussed the annual event sponsorship with the town internally, when we were trying to promote that, we said that if it was an in-kind sponsorship, it would not go as an annual event sponsorship, because it's not actually like monetary funds. It's only coverage, like the WRA would be only coverage for the Railroad Days events. So what I'm trying to do is build a package for them that is worth enough for that. So it might not, we don't have a $13,000, amount package, but build one that is worth the amount that they've provided us. So is there any suggestions beyond what we've already said that we were gonna offer, from the committee that could be added into that you guys might think of?
Well, personally, I think a $13,000 in kind should warrant an annual sponsorship, and I know y'all already discussed that. But if you could get them to do annual just blips on the radio or what have you, or, I mean, that would be ideal. We'd love to have them as
They've
annual.
actually not, so CBS had picked up on a lot more of our yearly events. So that's like My Carolina and stuff like that. Like they've picked up on a lot more of our throughout the year events. WRL hadn't quite done that yet, but I'm hoping that maybe in this discussion with them that might evolve into something like that. So that's kind of why I was wanting to bring this to the committee and see what your.
I would personally try to get them to put, their community calendar that REL puts out. If you could try to get on that, that's in kind as well. Instead of having to input them all the time, you've got all the calendar that you can just, give to them. Because if you want to get on their community calendar, you have to submit and do all that stuff. So
Well, and they do,
possibly.
I think it's them that has the events listing, like the top 100 or something like that. And last year, was my first year trying to get this out there, but I did submit as much as I could. But they go through and pick and choose. But if they're a sponsor, I feel certain that it would be included.
That's what I was
Maybe.
thinking.
So,
Worth a try anyway.
Yeah.
I just have something to say. So last week, or whenever the last time that we met, Donna said that it was 7,000 to 8,000 for in kind. So that's a big difference, and that's obviously a change from something that we have 7,000 in place and we don't have 13,000. I'm just saying there's a difference in money that was just spoken about from, and I know know that it was going through the Visitors Bureau,
Hang on, I think I
and
have
I
it
took
here.
notes on
thought I
what
had
she
listed
said
them. I
last
do
week,
have
the
it right
last meeting, and she said it was 7,000 to 8,000,
Okay, well, it says total minimum value 13,000.
and that's from them directly? Okay,
So I wish I had been here to hear the,
Are we putting the
discussion about it.
in-kind on the banners or shirts? In-kind donation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, if they're an event sponsor, they'd be included on
Okay,
everything.
got it.
And at this cost, I would see them being the presenting sponsor, but just not a presenting sponsor, like the annual event sponsor, if that makes sense. Since it's not a,
You can make your own category and say it's an annual in-kind sponsor, and not have to,
well, so what our, and this is a discussion that this annual event sponsorship blends into our like Parks and Recreation sponsors as well. So some of that funding does go towards the Parks and Rec sponsorships to put the jerseys or like the logos on the jerseys or the sports banquet, the banner for the sponsors for the gymnasium and stuff like that. So it does add additional in there. So we are helping to support that as well. That is actually a discussion that just is evolving with the Parks and Recreation Committee. And we're meeting again about that at their next meeting to discuss the portion of that. So right now that's a little bit up in the air, but it is helping push our annual event sponsorship.
I think that's
to
a
know
great
that
thing.
That's a part of that. So it does do a little bit more than the events. And that's kind of where we had said in the beginning, if it wasn't in kind for a specific event, then it might not constitute the full annual year sponsorship. So, because that would be us actually taking money out of the pot to put towards Parks and Recreation and whatnot from the Railroad Days pot to go in and support that. And it wouldn't necessarily be money that was coming in, but it's a coverage thing. So it's a little bit of a tricky, I guess, thing. But this is a pilot. We call it the pilot program this year, and that's how we're trying to work out what we think needs to happen and stuff. So, I mean, if the committee feels very strongly about something, we did, like I said, CBS picks up usually on everything that we do. So I don't know if they'll, when we put WRAL present sponsor, if that's a thing that they might not pick up on. That's a chance we take, but we want to make sure we get the name out there. So I'll take your feedback and suggestions on whatever as I, talk to them about this. But if you have any strong, suggestions about that, I mean, to me, it would be worth a presenting sponsor by far because it's almost double what the
Yeah.
is.
I mean, I don't have anything that I want to present, but I mean, I definitely, I guess, would want to do more research on what is typical for an in-kind, you know what I mean, like what is.
I'd like to think about
apples
it
and
too,
apples.
just
Like
to try to,
Meridian last year was an in-kind sponsor. They did, I think it was a $5,000 sponsorship.
Who was this? I'm sorry.
Meridian.
Okay.
And so the community stage
Yep.
was actually named, with their name. They donated restrooms, in place of that because, I mean, the restroom cost for that large of an event is, and especially because they have to come and pump the units. And we got the nice air conditioning trailer as part of that. So, it does help to have those kinds of things. But like I said, it doesn't necessarily put money in our pockets
Yeah.
to put towards other things. So I just want to make sure they get the bang for the buck
Yeah.
when they do this. So it does cover the community calendar. I knew I had seen that somewhere. So it does cover the inclusion in the community calendar on
Great.
the WRM calendar to air a minimum of 10 times 1 week. It says 10 times in parentheses to promote Summer Railroad Days event. So the value of the community calendar alone was $1,500. So promotion on air. I've seen them do the ham and yam stuff, and it's really cool to have that. So I think it's a really good opportunity.
I think it's an excellent opportunity.
I agree. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm just building something, and if there's additional things that I can throw in there, then that's what I'm doing. When you have people come at you with a value of more than what you've got value, then you want to make sure that we include more. So if you guys think about it, have anything in the next, day or two, let me know. As we continue with that.
Okay.
Anything else on sponsorships, any questions or anything? I do have some copies over here. Miss Cheryl's already picked that you up. If you guys want to take some, it's all of our levels, and then it's the breakdown of the annual events benefits. So that initial post is fixing to go out, so I'm excited about that. It's going out tomorrow for the ones that we've already gotten confirmed and paid for. So, and if you
Everybody
saw
share
it, it
tomorrow.
was in the newsletter. I don't know if you guys have gotten the quarterly newsletter, but
Looks great.
thank you. That we tried to get them included in there too, so that was an early addition, but it was a way to promote that opportunity too. So, okay, we'll skip on from sponsorships, posters and images. So I printed these out from last year. I think I already showed you guys these, but I wanted you to have the ones from last year. Then I have been working on some. These are not, but just trying to get your feedback on it. I'm still waiting on a few promotional photos from, or media kits from the performers. So what these do, like these can blend into different posts so that it's not everything the same thing released every time. So we can do an entertainment post. Then we look into the big posters. So we can fit more on a big poster than I can on these big pages. But
Who did these?
I did these.
These are awesome.
These are great.
These are incredible.
Thank you.
This is awesome. The shirt,
I
like
love the shirt.
busting through, like that's really awesome. That's you did a great job.
Yeah, I wanted to find out your suggestions on shirt colors and stuff before I went any further on confirming the design, because I want to make sure it looks good on the colors. We did dark heather gray and heather gray last year, like a lighter heather gray last year. So I kind of think we maybe stay away from the grays this year. So your event shirt can either tell about the whole event, and that's where the one with the words, it's actually not a shirt, but that's kind of where I was going with that one. The one where the train shape with the words, all the words. I know it's busy and it may be too busy, and that's what I wanted your feedback on, but I like the idea of trying to show a little bit of all of the event. So that's where I went with trying to put the food truck and the parade and stuff on the back of the shirt. You can't see all of it, but you can see some. So like I said, these are not anything set in stone. I wanted your feedback before we went any further. And of course, there will be more logos for the sponsors, but just kind of wanted your feedback on what's been put together so far. I did reach out to the Arts Council, and I don't think that they were interested in necessarily creating something for the shirt.
Yeah.
So we are still working with Weave Strickland on a Selma shirt. So that is still in the works. But as far as Railroad Days, if you guys like this direction, or if you're like, hey, we'll just kind of keep evolving this, then I'll take your suggestions and we can, I can even get you two versions of different. But
I love it.
Are we gonna do 2 colors or 3?
I want to get your feedback on that. And then that way I can finish the shirt design too, based on the colors that we picked.
Do we have purple and other things? Just for Railroad Days?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I really like the purple, and I'm not even a purple person, but I think the
I
purple's
know,
pretty
I'm
fun.
not
I
a
like the
purple.
purple.
White, I feel like I would spill something on myself, and then that would
Yes.
just
This
be.
printed out darker, so it did not appear that way, so I can adjust that, but, I think this needs to be lightened up a little, that poster image needs to be lightened up just a little bit, but, like I said, I just wanted to see if you guys even
Yeah.
like the direction.
Yeah,
It looks
I
so
love the
good.
direction.
I really like the purple. Green, I feel like going to like an
Well, it
Irish
doesn't have to be
festival.
green, but I was trying to think of something that the men might like better than purple.
Ron Hester would rock purple
Oh, I
all
know
day,
you would.
every day. We know that. He would.
So there will be, speaking of some upcoming events, well, I'm kind of skipping the next one, but there will be some shirts available on Monday night.
Okay.
That are black shirts. So, kind of, that's why I didn't go in the direction of black shirt for this one. So,
Yeah.
they'll be available for purchase at Oliver.
Only there?
We'll have them afterward.
Okay.
But, we've got them there, so I think they're gonna be $20 pieces, but they're gonna have a firework kind of thing with town
Oh, very cool.
on the back, so we're excited to get those in.
Cool.
So anyway, suggestions, comments, changes, you guys tell me.
I think
I like it. I
awesome.
mean, you're doing, your ability to design all of the stuff is really, really
Yeah.
great,
Yeah.
so,
Time consuming.
yeah.
Very good.
Thank you. And the entertainment one, poster or post, I mean, how does, I just build off of those, so anything that we can, incorporate on those. Like I said, I'm still waiting on some things, but I wanna get that out there, like I want that in the event, so if you guys are good with what direction we're headed in,
I think this is all great. I mean,
It is. It's great.
it's eye catching. And I know you said that you're worried about like adding too much, but I feel like when you're browsing through something, if I can look at it super quick, I just move on super quick. So if it has a lot, then I get to sit there and it's something of substance to read. And I feel like I get more obviously from it instead of just fanning through and I'm like, all right, railroad days, it's not my day. I need to
well,
be like,
and you see the one from last year, it had to break down each day on the left
yeah.
side. Which I think was helpful because it kind of told people when.
Mhm.
So my question to you guys is, do we want to do a poster that has, excuse me, a poster that has all of that information like that?
I like that though.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
most people went to,
Well,
Yeah.
Depending on what day you wanna come, you can look right there and go, I wanna
Yeah.
come see the camp, whatever, you know.
Yeah, I agree with
do you
that.
like including the September dates?
Yes,
Up to
yes.
that? Okay.
Because when we do the billboard for the My Kids Club run, right? Isn't that what it is?
Yep.
It's confusing when we say it's railroad days, but it's not inclusive of everything. So I think that clarifies to people. I think that,
too.
yeah.
How about a QR code though added? If you wanted to
Yes,
add a
we can-
QR code on this for the schedule,
Yep.
you could keep it like that and then,
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Good idea. Yeah.
Okay, so thoughts on shirt colors?
I'm partial to purple.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
Purple.
Purple. Here, Natalie's.
I like the purple, but I'm with like, are the men gonna buy purple? I don't know.
I mean, what about a light blue
Or
shirt?
what about the light blue color that's in the logo?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good, yeah.
See that
Yeah.
light, I hate to say it because it's almost Carolina blue, but that,
Yeah.
Now, why is that?
I know I shouldn't say that. But anyway, that might be nice too.
Yeah.
Maybe like the light blue that's on the back of the, this poster? Is it that
Yeah.
one?
Yeah,
would
the
be great.
logo.
Yeah.
With the steam coming out.
Yeah, yeah.
I can try that and I can send it to you guys and get your, as I change it a little bit. And
Yeah,
send
yeah.
it in.
How much are these shirts gonna be?
Most of our shirts, run $15 to $20.
What are our costs on
It
these
depends
shirts?
on what brand we do. The Gildan is a little cheaper than like the Comfort Colors. The ones for All American are Comfort Colors. A lot of people like those. So, and they last forever. So that's what brand we went with All American, and they're gonna be 20. So,
Yeah.
the Gildan will probably be a little less than that. Some of our shirts from last year, I think, were a little bit cheaper than the $15 mark. I have to look back and see, but that's about the average where they range. I'd say 12 to 15 for your.
To be produced?
Cheaper brand. But,
To be produced?
That's retail.
Oh, okay, okay,
well,
okay.
some of them are like $10 to $15 to be produced. Yes, because when you do all the colors
Yeah.
and all
yeah.
the layers, it does cost.
Yeah.
So it depends on the number that we order, and we'll check around for prices because that's when we order a large amount, we want to make sure that we are getting the best pricing.
Mhm.
And a lot of times, speaking of in-kind donation, the company will say, "Hey, can we put our logo on there for a discount on stuff?" I mean, that's in-kind, as long as it's enough to be
Yeah.
at the level that
Yeah.
they would be included on the shirt.
Yeah.
Then we don't hesitate with that.
Do we have an idea of how many shirts we're gonna be ordering?
Nope, that'll be something that you guys tell me when we get, that'll probably be at August decision.
And when, do we have any numbers from previous years?
I can look back and get it.
Okay.
I can't remember what I ordered.
My question for me for clarity, so you're thinking possibly two colors, blue and purple? Okay.
I would do two colors if it were me. I went to the Blueberry Festival weekends ago in Burgall, because I was curious. And they had like three different colors. They had a red, white, and blue. I guess they kind of went with red, white, and blue theme, but they had a red shirt, a white shirt, and a blue shirt. Oh, they had a gray shirt. But I actually got me a white shirt, so I wanted to.
Well, I think that's a good thing. for people to-
So maybe if you wanna look at another option.
I mean, that'd be cool just to do
Yeah.
those three colors in the logo, the
Right.
dark aqua, the light blue, and the
And the
purple.
Okay.
And I feel like there's lots of options and
Well, what I can do is, I'll finish kind of what I'm working on with the image and, maybe give you two different versions of the three colors.
Yes.
And that way you guys can kind of go from there.
it's awesome. Cool.
Great for the community to have a choice.
All right, this is not something that we have to decide on today, but I wanna go on and get this thought in your head. Digital billboards for like August, September, October. We don't want them to be too busy, but we also want to be able to clearly get the information across. So we want people as they're sitting at their stoplight to be able to say, oh, they got this on this day, or they got this. So we just met with Miss Lynn about the My Kids Club Run. And we're gonna put her board up in one of our spaces for the My Kids Club Run for Railroad Days. So that'll be one of the boards. And then we have the Classic Car Show, Ice Cream Showdown, that will be one of the boards. So these would start probably like a month before, so these would start in August and run through September. But when it comes to the Railroad Days board, or boards, do we do multiple boards? Or do we try to compress it down into a 3-day, October 4th through 6th festival with a few photos? Like, I wanna make sure that it's clear and not too much, and people don't see one part and miss the other part. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, that's my biggest thing with a digital billboard is that it moves so fast sometimes that you don't get the whole thing. And I'm a slow reader, so I'm
We don't-
only
we
getting
don't-
half of it.
We don't have the billboard at the, where the Deacon Jones and Tractor Supply.
So
We don't have that one,
We
correct?
usually do get that one for the festival. I've not confirmed that yet, but we do usually get that for
That's a
the
great
actual
one.
festival. So to me, I think that, even if it's just the dates, eye-catching photo, bright color with the website,
Yeah,
then at least they know where to go to find out more information.
yeah.
The Rockin' on Rayford colors, I mean, they're really bold.
I see that one. every
They look
time I
great.
So it gives me something to be able to go on and send to the Visitors Bureau so that they can go on and have that in their back pocket to work on. So that's not a last minute thing. That's kind of why I wanted to go on and bring it up. So are we okay with doing a My Kids Club, a classic car show, and a pageant? Those would all three start in August and run until the event. But then we have the Railroad Days Festival that will start when? When do you guys want to start the main Railroad Days Festival?
September, I would think.
Oh, yeah, I think.
September 1st? I mean, is that what we're thinking?
I mean, I feel like the earlier the better. I feel like we're known for late marketing. So being able to get it out
we
there
could,
earlier.
we could run that earlier if you want to.
Why don't we
So-
run a save the date? And it makes you look, save the date,
Yeah,
October,
that's cute too. Yeah,
like a wedding or
I
something.
am checking
Yeah.
on some banners that can go up earlier.
yes.
So, also, I will be bringing banners it's probably gonna go to you and Appearance, but, like we have our Selma banners in town, the pole banners. If you notice in Goldsboro, they have some specific banners, so we're gonna do some, like, specific Railroad Days, like home of the Railroad Days.
Yes, we
kind
do
of
that.
thing.
We
So
really
that's
do.
something that's up all the
Yeah.
time. So that'll be coming to you guys too, so, but, I think that maybe we run it even before. I like the save the date. Maybe we can do a save the date in August.
Yeah.
But you gotta think though, we do still have Rock on Rayford, so we're trying not to roll too many things.
Yeah.
Because we don't want people to miss them. But I say 3 max at a time.
Yeah.
That way, if you're going and coming, maybe you catch two.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I can get the layout for that and the schedule for that
Okay.
done and
Yeah.
in front of you.
Sounds good.
So, okay. And, so at this point, we are still receiving vendors. In fact, Natalie just handed me 2 that we got this morning. One thing that we need to do is look at what food trucks, what types of food we do not have, and almost reach out to some of those people, because we're getting several duplicates. And I don't think 2 of something similar is bad when you have, especially when it's a well-known cuisine, but I do think that maybe we try to reach out to some of the ones that we don't have yet. Because we don't need 10 barbecue people. We don't need 10 hot dog people.
No.
So I'd like to have a couple people that would be willing to jump on that wagon to help reach out to some vendors that we don't yet have and some food trucks that we don't yet have. Natalie's been doing a great job reaching out to a lot of these folks. And that was one of my reasons I went and got some information from some of the bird hall vendors, because they're close enough to, to come do railroad days too. So, if there's somebody or 2 people that want to jump on that, then I would be happy to give you a list of what we already have in, and maybe what we don't have. So.
I can do that. You send that over to me, I can do that.
Anybody else wants to help?
I'll help on the vendors. You'll do the food trucks, Christina?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. So send me the vendors and I'll reach out.
Perfect. I will send those. And then as we get closer to the festival itself, we'll figure out duties for the actual, like, what we do prior to the event and that kind of thing. So be thinking about that too, what your availability might be. So we want to work around your schedules and stuff too. So, okay. I think that's all that I had on my list for that specifically. Do you guys have anything? Community stage. I'm reaching out to all of our local performers, dance groups, that kind of thing. But have you guys gotten any feedback on performers for the community stage that might want to be a part of that?
Again, are we paying people at the community stage?
In the past, the Hispanic Heritage Celebration was a grant that was funded by the Arts Council. So I have not gotten any information to know if that grant is still available. I was told last year that the funds for that were they weren't going to have it much longer, that specific grant. So I can ask Ms. Darlene if there is still something in that. But I do know that a lot of their grants have gone to nonprofit requirements. So if we don't have that designation, there's a chance that we won't have it. I know that Sergio with the Latinos Activate, JOCO, they are a nonprofit. So if that is something that Sergio's interested in kind of promoting with that, then maybe that's something we can work on. But I haven't heard anything from him about any groups or anything that might want to be.
Do we have any materials that we can share on social media?
Yes, I plan to have those out to you guys, so I'll send that to you.
Okay.
And I'm fixing to do a big boost on vendor food truck. We'll do a boost on the community stage, and all that good stuff. So if you see it, share it, please. That would be wonderful. And so then we'll just kind of wait and hear. I'll send Ms. Darlene a message with Arts Council, see if there's anything left in that fund. But in the past, they have, because it's like $4,500 a band to bring those. So if we can, figure out a way to do that, then we'll do that. So anybody, anything else?
I have a question, and it's about the community stage. So on the community stage, is this stage for the community, different groups or bands or
Yes.
that's in the community? Because I have a dance group that I would like to perform on that stage.
Yeah. So in the past, it's been local choirs, local dance companies that bring their group of kids. What we like to think of is like one of our choirs is huge, and they bring a ton of people. So it starts right after the parade. So it has a lot of people here. It brings their families to watch them perform, and then they enjoy the festival. So the same thing with the dance groups. So kind of thinking along the lines of who would normally be coming to these festivals? Who do we want to, you know, bring the whole family kind of thing, you know, like that, just something along those lines. I know there was some discussion about possibly running on Friday night. The barbecue cook-off is going on at the same time at the fire department, so that would actually offer something at the fire department area, and then we have the main stage down at Pontoon. So it is kind of separated, but it would give some life to that area on Friday evening if we are able to find some groups to perform. So I'll continue reaching out for that, but if you guys do have contacts for,
I do have a group I would like to enter the Steps of Inspiration.
okay,
It's a line dance group.
are you able to reach out to them and do
Yes.
that? Okay.
That's me.
Oh, I can't wait to see you.
Oh,
That's
good.
awesome.
But yes, feel free to talk to your group and see. And I can go on and have the schedule up for time slots for different things. But if it's something you would feel better about doing on Sunday, or if it's a Saturday, or
I would like to do both days.
okay,
Our group do line dances to various music. Saturday, we'll do some dances to a particular group,
Okay.
and Sunday, we'll do dances to the Sunday crowd.
okay.
So I'd like for our group to do both days, Saturday and
How many
Sunday.
in your group?
It's 10 of us.
And are you guys able to do it on?
It's the same group that did the senior day,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
but we are getting better.
Are you guys able to do it on the stage, or do you have to be on?
But we can do it on the stage. I prefer on the stage.
Okay, okay.
I prefer on the
If
stage.
you'll talk to your group, let me know the consensus, and
Okay.
then we can go from there.
Okay.
Anybody else?
That's exactly
If you
what we
guys-
need, things like this, if
Yeah,
anybody
I love-
knows. I was just thinking, about they do a little summer camp, the Baptist Church does over here on Rayford. They would love to perform on the community stage.
Yeah.
If I see him outside or whatever, I'll try to,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they usually are in our parade too.
Oh, they're so cute.
So, and with that being said, the parade forms, so the parade forms, pageant forms, all that good stuff will be up tomorrow, on there. So we'll start that with our.
I think having something on Friday night near the fire department for the cook-off is a great idea, because it's a little sleepy when I went last year.
Yeah, food and entertainment would be
Yeah.
good.
I agree, I think that'd be good.
Well, you guys think about that. If you know some groups that you think would be a benefit to bring more people to, to town for that, then by all means, reach out and share the information. Okay, I'm done with that. Next. Oh, lost my agenda. Did you start? I think our next thing was upcoming event informational discussion. So that was just kind of incorporate the discussion about All American Festival coming up, and the Centennial coming up. Also, as we have Rockin' on Rayford's every month, we're trying to reach out and promote that a little bit more. So if you guys see that, share it, tell your friends, bring them. So Monday night is Jim Quick at our All American Festival, which is going to be at Blackstone Plaza. And then the Centennial is the July 20th. So the depot is getting nice and shiny. And if you didn't notice, our pole banners are down there for the Centennial. So they're actually up now, and they will stay up for probably several months as we are celebrating the Centennial this year. So tell your friends, bring your family out for that. Wood and Steel is performing. If you guys haven't heard them, they will be performing that day. A lot of our local dignitaries have been invited to join us for that day. I know we've got Amtrak coming as well. So just reach out if you guys have any train connections that want to be a part of it. We'll gladly incorporate them. And then marketing materials. So Mr. Eric Dean is here from the Johnson County Visitors Bureau. And we have an Our State ad deadline coming up. I think they did extend it just a little bit. I got an email about that the other day to July 8th. I don't know what that tells you anything. Okay.
Don't get those.
Okay. They sent me something that said it had been extended, so I was like, I'll ask Eric about that because I want to make sure. Anyway, so I know that we've talked back and forth. We've tried to upload a handful of pictures from last year's event, but he's got some stuff you want to share.
Yeah, I'll just pop it up. I had two ad options here, and I put them in the book. I texted them in. Just it's easier to see them in context. cumbersome, but, so that's pasted in.
Okay.
That's one layout. And that's one right there.
Okay.
So it helps to keep in context
Yeah, I'd
with
like to
the
thank you for your-
competition that
So here's
is
one.
on the page.
Where it is. And here's the other one. Look at that one.
So, a little background.
Most unsightly.
You should tell it's one page up.
Everything else is up. I mean, you can divvy this up however you want.
So are we deciding on a placement?
Well, I'm glad to hear.
No, that's
I'll
one,
bring that
one
up
of
after we
two
talk about
ads.
this.
That
So
one,
it's gonna be page after page?
no, those are the two options. That one
That one and
or the one
on the
previous.
page.
And a little background on this, so this will go in their September edition of the Our State magazine. So think about that in relation to Railroad Days, and,
What other destinations that you can see in there, what they started to do, because that is so competitive. It's hard to get any distinction there. Destinations have started to buy 2 and 3 spaces. So they can present like a half a page.
Yeah, like that one,
Oh,
like the
okay.
South
Those
Carolina
destinations have more money than we do.
Well, it is quite expensive.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
less than a half a page, but I don't find still very.
Like you're to be in the sea of all those things. That is eye-catching, like it pops out. Think about this one.
See, I like that. I like that one better.
You like this one better?
I do too, because it's
What?
just gets two.
I know, right? Yeah.
All right,
it's
we
two
gotta,
points too.
we gotta tie, so we gotta, who's gonna
Yeah.
break it? I think Nikki should break it, since she's our graphic.
Nikki,
Nikki, you gotta
we
break
need
the
a
tie.
tiebreaker.
You're the tiebreaker.
oh, Lord.
It's 2 and 2.
And we're not gonna tell, just look and see what you decide.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody's
you-
saying who likes what.
That's right, you look and decide. And what you decide, we'll go with, cause you have a
I
good
want to
eye.
hear your discussion.
No. That's not,
I'm not. I want to hear
you're the, you do such good graphic work. I wanna,
I want to hear your discussion.
okay, well, their discussion, go ahead. You can
Okay,
start
so
first.
I like the darker one, myself and Susan like the darker one with the white dates, because it pops. So as we're looking at the entire thing right now, what pops to me are the I mean, I think they might be the biggest letters on the page, of the dates, whereas the other one has a lighter background, which is very similar to a lot
These
of
are
the other
just,
things.
that's not exactly how it's gonna be laid out. These, right?
I don't know placement.
Right, so
That's
he,
pasted in.
that's just, he just went random.
Yeah.
So you don't know
I mean, I
what's
just
gonna be
think it's
beside
still,
That one, but
But it's very difficult. I
look
mean,
at how many lights
Favorite
there are
kind of
though,
thing?
in general.
Yeah.
So the probability of us being near a light one is high. I mean, there's over 10 that we just viewed that were light.
I hear you.
So many.
which one? Yes. Oh,
No, we just lost.
We just lost. She said that
Lost
was big
the count.
fun. I like that.
It's funny.
It does.
So that one you think is the better ad? Yeah, let's hear your discussion.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep.
So basically, the date is what you see, is the first thing you see
is
on
what
the
you
ad.
want.
Question too, does it give any additional credit?
Because I like, what catches me
So
here
that
is the
people know
Selma,
how
the town,
long-
the train.
Like,
That
in
catches
your
my eye.
experience, have
Maybe
you
we could do,
seen,
maybe
like,
Too.
That's a good point, Rosa.
It does. When I see this book, I see Selma, the town.
Well, why can't we can
Yeah, that's what I see.
pick what we like.
As we gear up for the people.
But that one, I only see a date. Then
I,
you got to
I,
look
I'm-
further to
I
see what
agree
it
with
is.
that because as like someone who would, I don't like when I end up going to a place, time is always valuable for everyone. And you go to something and you're like, well, this is clearly in its first year. Whereas something that says the 49th, you're like, this is established, like they have their crap together, hopefully, like it's gonna be a good event. I do think that putting the 49th has some weight.
I do too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So right here, we like.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe Eric can work some magic.
Yeah, I mean, it would pop, it would
That's-
definitely
that's
pop
good
over there too,
suggestion.
yeah,
I'd like the 49th. I just
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's,
hopefully.
it's history too.
Yeah,
You feel like you're
Yeah.
pending history.
Oh, just add a little more to that. what you're
yeah,
saying.
yeah,
Yeah, because you only see a date right here.
yeah.
And then you got to look further to see what you're looking
Yeah.
for that date.
Do we like, I mean, or as far as down here?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I guess maybe would be, this is a bit dark,
Yeah, it is dark.
where this
It's
is so
light.
bright, I see that right away.
I
If
think
that
we
was a
should like
little
that.
lighter, so that way
Yes.
I see the date, yes, but I'd like to see Railroad Days like,
Yeah.
bam.
Because that is too dark. And they need to add something that,
Yeah, I
that
do
will
agree.
reference the
Yeah.
date.
It takes in the colors from the logo, so I
Yeah,
can see where
yeah.
that part's coming from. So I'll let her tell you what she was.
just to make this a little bit lighter, because this pops, which is great, but to make this what the actual festival is, to make that a little bit lighter, and then to do a, yeah, exactly.
But they mentioned maybe add.
Yeah.
If you have space.
Since we have a little bit of space, even
But I
if
do
this were
think
to come
that
down,
the date
yeah.
definitely, that, when you look at those two pages alone, that date, like.
It's super
I agree.
eye
It
catching,
does,
yeah,
it stands out.
Yep.
Y'all talked me into it
This is-
totally.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if they like, because that was,
Yes, yep,
that was my first
Yep.
point, why I didn't particularly like that, because it was too dark.
yeah,
It was too
yeah,
dark.
yeah.
It was too dark.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
We
that
don't
dark
have
blue
any
does.
data how people
Yeah.
actually search these pages.
Yeah.
But they have leadership,
Mhm.
so one inclination is you think that people are
Mhm.
just gonna skim this. But they're very loyal, so people don't typically just skim it.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
actually looking
Yeah,
and actually looking for things to
Yeah.
do. That was why I put the date. because
Yeah.
Date drives people.
Of course it does, yeah,
It does,
yeah.
it does.
You know your calendar.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like that.
I agree with that.
Yeah, if they revise that, man,
Yeah,
it would be,
yeah.
it was too dark.
Yeah.
And then the date, yeah, it was eye catching, but you have to continue to look for.
What it
And
is.
some people just skim. Some do, they really do. And then they see something that catches their eye, they'll look at it. Because we're a fast-paced society.
I like to get my money's worth out of that magazine.
It's a good magazine.
I love that magazine.
Yeah, it's very good.
If you're from North Carolina, you love that magazine.
I love it. But I really know.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
If they rebook down.
I feel like that's actually like a realtor gift that's usable.
Yeah.
Sometimes you
Yeah.
get something and you're like, oh my god, this.
I think that's a great,
Right.
that would be
Right.
a great gift, especially for people out of state.
That's what I've done in the past.
Or people even
Yeah.
in state.
Out of
Yeah.
staters,
Yeah.
mostly.
Do you have any feedback, Mr. James?
Fine, Jim. You can model last year's railroad shirt too.
Right.
He's already sporting it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm buying us little railroad hats that we're gonna wear. one day.
Little
You trust me.
conductor ones,
Oh,
like
yeah,
little
no,
train
but,
conductor.
oh, you know I'm getting those. I'm all about,
I don't ever see you.
well, you're gonna wear it for the picture.
Like a visor. Right
I'm not-
over my
yeah.
butt.
I'm not getting no visor. You're gonna wear a hat for one picture.
Yes. So I just wanted to bring up a couple things too. Like, so we were talking about different things with driving business and driving people to Railroad Days. Just to kind of piggyback on that, there has been some discussion amongst downtown businesses in regards to what the town and tourism specifically is doing to drive business to downtown. There is a general consensus among business owners downtown that foot traffic has drastically decreased, and they're concerned that with the new shopping center that's coming, that it is going to further decrease foot traffic downtown. And now there is foot traffic that is walking around, but the amount of foot traffic that is spending money in downtown has decreased. Now, I'm gonna give my 2 cents on the topic as someone downtown that has 2 businesses and one that has been here for over 3 years and one that obviously has just opened. There has been a definitely significant decrease in shoppers downtown, but there is a responsibility within business owners to drive your business downtown and to bring business into your shop or into your storefront. Now, I think that there's multiple things that are taking place here that whether anybody wants to admit or not, it is an election year that does play a lot into whether people want to spend money into certain things. People are uncertain of the future, so they're holding on to more money. That is data that has been proven that people spend less during election years. But I do think that there is that there is a decrease in people that are spending money. On top of that, there are conversations of some businesses that are downtown that are already talking about renewing their leases, which is worrisome in the sense that some of these places that are talking about not renewing add great value to downtown. They're not necessarily just, we're known for antiques, right? This is not any of our antique shops that are talking about this. That is, I feel like our antique shops are more established. They've been here for so long. They have a very loyal following. People like Trackside have numerous billboards on 95. But these other small shops that are struggling, I wish that there was something more that we could do for them. Whether it's in the town is doing something to bring people downtown, or it's helping maybe distribute some information on how to better do things within your four walls.
I think that's a great idea. I mean, some
Yeah.
people, I think, I think some businesses expect the town to bring the people, and that's
Yeah.
really not the job of
It's
the
not,
town.
it's not.
I personally think that Selma brings more events, and that brings people to town than any other town in Johnston County.
Yeah, yeah.
So, just coming from somebody, I'm not a business owner here, but
Yeah.
I do have somebody below me
course.
that, and all
Yep.
that. It's very important that we keep everybody, but can they come to us and say we need to know what they have some ideas of?
Yeah,
I mean, 'cause you're speaking for them, which is wonderful.
Oh,
We
no,
need
no,
that.
yeah. Because obviously, as being on tourism, I don't know how it is for you guys, but as chair, I'm approached often about things that people feel that we are doing or that we're not doing.
Okay.
So I just wanted to voice it, to make sure that it's not falling on deaf ears, that there is a conversation being had. I do know that, previously, I was in a neighboring town with my shop, and there was a downtown, community. There was a board for downtown businesses. And we do have, obviously the town its focus is the entire town. It is not just specifically downtown, as is another one of our organizations, Activate Selma. It is not a downtown based organization. So if there was something that we could do or organize, that is a downtown focused and downtown led thing, I think that it would be beneficial for all of us downtown. I know myself as a business owner downtown would really appreciate that, but I think it's something that can't just be a bunch of business owners. It needs to be the business owners and the town working together.
Most towns do have a business development committee, and that's what we
Yeah.
don't have.
Yeah, we don't have one of those.
So, I mean, that would be a great idea.
Yeah.
But then you're also, same people are in all these committees will
I
be
know.
now in another one.
And that's kind of where you guys come in,
Yeah.
as the tourism committee.
Yeah.
Since we don't have that type of downtown development, that is kind of where that comes in.
And that's a great idea. I would like to say this, for my birthday was April the 1st. And I have family that lives in other cities. My daughter lives in Wake Forest. I have a son and his family that live in Durham. So for my birthday, I said, we're going to visit downtown Selma. Now, my children were raised here, went to college, got their own families, and live in other towns. But they hadn't been back downtown for several years. Because when they come to our house and we celebrate.
course.
So for my birthday, I said, we're going downtown Selma and we're going to go to this store, that store. And we had lunch downtown, and they were blown away. It was awesome. They went to the store that sells the soaps.
Yeah.
We went to the art gallery. We ate at Mama Mia's. We went to several stores. We went to your store.
Yep.
And so they were so thrilled. And so we can come up with a concept, something like that. Bring your family downtown
Yep.
for a celebration, because that's what I did. And we were down there all day long for my birthday. And we really, I enjoyed it. They enjoyed it. And said, we're coming back, Mom, we're coming back. So if we can come up with some concepts like that
Yeah.
For your celebration, come downtown, visit the shops. That's what we did. And it was awesome.
And it was all ages. Your
Yes, my
Yeah.
my youngest
Something
grandchild
for-
was 5. Visited the ice cream shop.
Yep.
As for our dessert, we ate at Mama Mia's. Went to the ice cream shop for dessert. My youngest is 5, and my oldest grandchild that was with us that day was 13. And then my children, one was 50. I'm telling my age. One was 50, and 2 was 37 and 38. The adults. And my husband, of course, we are seniors. We're in our 70s. And so everybody had something to do, and everybody enjoyed it. We spent the day downtown on my birthday.
It's
Well,
true.
actually, it
You
was
can
on a
do anything,
Saturday.
because you've got a toy store now, you've got ice
Yeah.
cream.
Selma's
got
in such an
restaurants.
amazing
It
place right
is,
now.
it is.
We just
with-
gotta get
So
the word
many
out.
things to
I
do.
agree.
How to get the
I
word
agree.
out.
We're
I mean, we
very
all love
into
it. We love Selma so
Right.
much.
Yeah.
I mean, we're dedicated. It's
Yes.
just how do we share, give our love for this
What are
town
we-
and bring people in?
What are we technically able to do? Because I know that there's a lot of red tape within tourism on what can be done with money that comes in from tourism.
Well, we just have to make sure we have it budgeted for.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a consensus of the tourism committee, then it's passed to, council as a recommendation from the committee for
Okay.
their approval for most things.
Yeah.
Sharing something on Facebook or,
Yeah.
that kind of thing, that's not like a council required,
Yeah, yeah.
approval. But it really just depends on what the initiative would be.
Okay.
I mean, to me, it sounds like you're saying that we're like a downtown destination for all ages.
Yes,
or,
that's exactly what it is.
like a downtown experience
Mhm.
for all ages. Something
Yeah.
along those lines. So, I mean, it might even evolve into, like tagline type thing or,
Yeah.
or, just a slogan type thing or
Yep.
something. But, the getting the word out is most important. And I think this is a discussion that will probably be carried on.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
You know, to evolve that. So I say let's keep that going. And maybe brainstorm when you leave here. Just kind of brainstorm what we can do. Look at other towns, see what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I will say that kind of ties into this. So Eric's also working on this for us. The Selma Visitor's Guide has not been redone since 2021. It's 21, I think, maybe. Anyway, it's due for an update. There's some old information in it as far as businesses, that kind of thing. So I shared that one from, I think it was Mount Airy that we had shared. And it had a map. It was very informative, events, that sort of thing. So I went and met with Visitors Bureau, with Ms. Donna and Mr. Eric about this he said this is not exciting, but this is like a layout type thing, just to kind of show you. So we have the cover, and it would open up. So this would be an overall map of Selma, as a visual location type thing. So this would not dive into every single business that is in the downtown Selma area, but it would dive into, you are here. Say you're at the Old North State Food Hall, and they're like, well, what's to do around here? And they pull out their map, and they're like, well, you're here. You go right over here. It's historic downtown Selma. And then we have a downtown directory listing that says, and you can find all of these businesses here. And so then we could use a portion for a feature area for some of our annual events, railroad days, our train station as a, because these would be found up and down 95, the visitor centers, even train depots, wherever we could get that to them so that they could see what Selma has to offer. So they're like, hey, I want to go here. I want to go here. They've got this and this and this. So just giving them a visual, even people that get to Dwayne's don't realize when they pull out of Dwayne's parking lot, you're either going right or you're going left. So even if you're at Dwayne's and you pick one of these up and you're like, how historic downtown right across, right over here. So just being able to have a visual to know how close you are to the surrounding areas. I mean, there's a lot of places that get lost here, like Blackstone Plaza, Megan Circle, Ormond's Plaza, like those businesses over there, they get lost. And then we've got the Dwayne's area that is just before you get into Smithfield. So a lot of times people will go to the Pottery, but we want to make them come back.
Yeah.
This way. So Eric is working on this for us. And you want to chime in on?
Well, I provided a blank one because that sheet size, what it allows you to do is, she said, have an area map, orientate people. It's one thing to know where Dwayne's is, it's another thing to know where Dwayne's is relative to downtown. That's what people, they need reference points. So on the other side, you have a whole side that you can do a downtown pullout, if that's what you choose. You had mentioned doing events on there too, so what I was hoping was you could take that blank and divvy it up generally in area, what the content is to go on this.
Even add the hotel option, you know, where to stay, how to get here, what, you know, it could be by train, it could be by exit 90, whatever.
The problem doing a downtown map, just one or the other, is you can't put the area stuff on there. It's just too big of an area. So you have to pan out and you can give them that to orientate themselves, they flip over, they can throw down.
Places to eat, places to shop,
Yeah, I
like
places, you know, that kind of thing.
It is not without limitations, it's still only so big,
But this,
but
it's,
it is.
the other one was only trifold?
The Mount Airy one?
No, the visitor's guide, Selma.
Oh, yeah, that was just a eight and a half by 14.
So
I think it was a 4.
I assume when we put the events, we're not putting dates, because these are gonna be
Like
around for
the-
years, right?
Well, see, the content, that's up to you guys, see, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know, that's why I'm hoping,
So,
like, I would
I'm
think
asking you then.
annual events and leave it at that, because you don't wanna date this piece.
We
Yeah.
can do like Railroad
wouldn't
Days
date
the
it.
first weekend in October.
Yeah.
However, we did decide that we would not print as many at one time, so that if we did a semi-annual print or something like that, we could make some changes. So, you know, if a business changed,
Yeah, there's so many comings and
Mid-year,
goings.
yeah.
Yeah.
then we would be able to change those things up a bit. I think they ordered, I think in the beginning they did like 10,000 or something of the other one. We,
It's been a while. that
we
sounds
still had
about
a
right.
couple boxes.
That folds to a 4x9, which is critical.
Yeah.
Because that's what fits in the racks.
But like our Christmas celebration is the first Tuesday in December. All American's the one that's a little wishy because you not knowing what day the 4th's gonna fall
Yeah.
on. And then like our polar bear run, that's
You can put the month,
Yeah.
yeah. So
I mean,
that
you know the month.
I do think that we put our
It gets into a
name.
website.
That's, yeah,
they're
we can try.
going to get what they need when they
That's
do
right.
it. But I think the main thing on that map is area and the drill downtown.
And this would be a visitor's perspective. So, and this is where tourism comes in with that because this is visitor perspective. We are working on one that is a business area perspective for Selma. So, and that's something that each of the businesses could have in store, like just a cardstock kind of paper type thing where they pick up and they're like, okay, we got to get them to the downtown. And then once they're in the downtown, you can pick up a piece of paper that says, oh, well, there's such and such, you know, they need a car maintenance place, or they need surf and turf, or, you know, something like that, that could be resident or, you know, visitor needs. So, I mean, do you guys have any suggestions? Again, it would be like where to stay, what to do, places to eat, the train. I do think, especially diving into the visit, explore, enjoy kind of thing, you know, being able to say explore and having something about the Mitchner station.
Yeah.
Our, you know, 100-year-old historic Selma Union Station. So I think having those exploration, you know, type features as well is very important when you're talking about visitor. But they also need to know where to stay. So having the hotel.
When do we need to have this information by?
So this is about a 3-month process, but you tell me. You tell us what you need.
You know, I would suggest that, however, you guys go over to the road and literally take that and mark it up like, okay, we want the area map and we need from this parking lot or this establishment, it needs to have this in it, so we know the parameters. And in general, because you need legends on there, so. And the maps are very labor intensive. There is not a custom map for Selma in existence, so it will be.
And even thinking about Eastfield, we talked about Eastfield coming, you know, even if it's not here yet, but it could be a coming soon for this first print, you know, Eastfield crossing, you know, that kind of thing. Because that is one of the main places, if Eastfield has this over here and they pull people off of 95 and they pick that up and they're like, oh my gosh, historic downtown, we could literally, I mean, go out the back door and there it is. So,
Well, you can lever to increase the foot traffic that you were
Yes.
talking about, that may be displaced.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you can't send it back
Of course. Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think we need the content.
Yeah.
Not every detail, but
right.
in general,
An outline.
and we can start the presentation
Yeah.
part. That's what we need.
So, I can hold on to this, and I can make a list of kind of the feature things that we just talked about. I can get you some content and write-ups about the annual events, whatever you need. And then, I mean, I know you guys have the hotel information and stuff, but even an excerpt about the Michener and the South Union Station, those kinds of things. If there's something specific that you guys want to have in there, it's just, like I said, it's just putting the information together to get to them and how we want it portrayed, business information, that kind of thing. So,
Since the nature of these is, yes, someone's coming after you print it, and they won't be on there for a while.
Of course, yeah.
You know, that's just gonna be how it goes.
but that's why when the business owner,
Definitely very
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people love a map.
Mhm.
I know they got their phones. They love a map where they can go right here.
and, you know, as far as our other businesses, if you know something new is here and it's not been on here, I mean, you pick up the map and say, hey, this has just been, this is
Yeah.
just open,
Yep.
this is right here.
Yep.
You know, just to be able to promote that foot traffic even more. So this will be, in work in progress, so look out for emails for those. And the last discussion that I want to add, billboard discussion. So we have been tasked by council to see what options there might be if the committee feels strongly about making some changes to the to the billboard cost. And I have been talking to the Visitors Bureau to kind of get some feel about what our other local towns do. I think that because our budget is a little bit more, it dives into a little bit more with council and, you know, line items, it does show a little bit more of what the cost specifically for the billboard advertising does look like for Selma. I don't know that we see that with anybody else as far as like exactly what the billboard costs are for other towns and stuff when it comes to that, because you guys handle the budget part, right?
Yeah.
So you don't really see that part. But their council is questioning the two billboards on 95. We only have two, one coming from both directions. So I'd like to have the committee's recommendation or suggestions. I will tell you, I am meeting with Matt Phillips from Adventure about Eastfield and some possible opportunities that might add to this discussion. I know that Christina had asked in the past about what was coming to Eastfield that we could advertise on that might bring, if Eastfield brings people off 95, how do we get them to downtown? But I wanna meet with Matt and see what possibilities we may have there, and then what possibilities we might have as we've discussed redoing the vinyls on the 95 billboards. If there's a collaboration or something that we can do, but I want to know your feedback on having the two billboards on 95. I want the committee's consensus when it comes to that.
Can I give my 2 cents?
Sure.
Okay, so I think billboards, I live in Wilson, so I drive down 95 every day. I drive past a lot of billboards, and I see those billboards every single day and the value of those billboards. And I think to take a step back, right? So when we have other towns that their budget isn't blasted all over, and we have our budget that everyone is, you know, everyone is very critical over Selma's budget, maybe for the right reasons and some for the wrong reasons, in the sense of people liking certain people within our political, you know, people that run our town, okay? But when you put all that aside, billboards are there and they drive a huge amount of people to our town, our small little town, and they are very, very valuable. And as you're going down 95, right, very rarely do you see, unless there's something like COVID going on and people don't have any money coming in, do you see a billboard that's for rent for a very long time? And that's because there's a general consensus that the billboards drive foot traffic in a large scale. And I think one of our biggest people downtown is Trackside. Trackside has had billboards for how many years? If those were ineffective, they would not keep renewing those billboards. And if we look at our billboard that we have at the end of exit 98, is that the one? At the exit of 98, I take exit 98 every single day, right? If we didn't have that billboard, you would never know which way you're going. You're gonna end up in Pine Level. You would never know where to go. And we only have 2 billboards, and you have these other towns that have downtowns that are way further off of the exit than ours, and they have double the amount of billboards that we have. I think it's really, really important for us to keep our billboards and to continue to drive that traffic downtown. I do think that the graphics need to be different. We've said this numerous times before. They need to be different than every other town. The Visitors Bureau, in my opinion, has a very, the same type of format for everything. I think that if we're gonna move forward with them, that they need to be super eye-catching and that they need to be different and they need to be cool and fun and like, hey, that's where I wanna stop over stopping in Benson or Smithfield or Dunn or Rocky Mount or wherever it is, or Kinley. But I think that they hold a great value for our small town. And I know that they're expensive, but yeah, if you're drawing thousands of people, it's not gonna be cheap.
I only think I mean, I never got any value off my billboard with my business. I mean, it's so hard to gauge. Like, did you actually stop because of the billboard? And it's just so hard, the numbers, and there's a lot of different data over whether billboards are effective at the cost. But because we are right off 95,
Yeah.
I would say that they would definitely be worth it because of our location versus like if you were, a distance off 95.
From the end of exit 98 to our downtown is 1 minute and 38 seconds. I mean, you can't beat that. Like, that is the closest thing. You have a gas station that's 1 minute off of 95. Like,
So-
that's awesome. There's so many people that,
It's council wanting our recommendation whether we want to keep it or
Yeah,
to reduce the
keep or
cost.
get
I don't
rid of.
understand
So
what
they
you're.
would like some feedback on the committee's recommendation of whether we keep them or not. And, I mean, billboard, the whole billboard look. So right now, we have 5 total. We have 2 that are stationary, on 95. We have 1 X98 that is stationary. That one is cheaper than the other 2. And then we have, the digitals that are on 70 in both directions. So right now, we are covering both directions of 95 and both directions of 70, as well as our exit off of 98. So they are wanting to know what your suggestion would be and how we can decrease that cost. Proof of the pudding as far as why they're beneficial to keep. But again, I am meeting with Matt to see, I do know that in our discussions with the Visitors Bureau, if we change I think Ms. Donna was gonna give me what they look like currently. We do have it in the budget to replace them this year. But if we take we take the hotel portion off of those billboards, I think we do need to make sure that we have the hotel portion somewhere else, because otherwise we're not promoting what tourism is for.
Right, yeah.
To
It's the
bring
beds.
people to stay. So, if we do that, I want to keep that in the back of your mind too, as we go into updating the billboards. So I'll take your recommendations, either way, and, if you'd like to, be a part of the discussion, when it does go in front of council, that's.
I have a question, and the question is, normally if someone's seeking a change or reduction, there's a reason. Is it because it's not in the budget, or it's too costly, or do they have something else to do with the funds? What is the reasoning?
So
the
there was
change?
an individual that spoke up at, our meeting where the tourism budget was presented, and brought, specific concentration down on the billboard cost. And again, I think this is where, a lot of other towns you don't see.
it's
the
people
line
not
item.
knowing, because like this money can't go to just anything. So like when the tourism funds come in, they need to go to very specific things, like why, and I asked earlier about what we can do with tourism money, because there's a lot of red tape and it does come back to heads and beds. And a lot of people don't understand. I know when I joined tourism, I didn't understand that it was directly related to hotels and people spending the night in hotels and the tax that comes from that. So I think, just being frank, letting people understand too, that the money comes from that and it needs to stay within that. So yeah, maybe we cut billboards, but that doesn't mean that money gets to go to whatever this individual thinks the money gets to go to.
And from a bystander point of view, like if I didn't know any of the back information, that is a large amount of money to spend annually
It
on
is.
anything.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna stay neutral when it comes to this discussion, but, I am doing some research. I do know that, Smithfield, Benson, is it 4 Oaks, I think we talked about several local towns, and they all had more billboards than we do. And some of them have less hotels than we do. But one factor right now is we do have a lot of extended stay folks that are staying in our hotels to get Eastfield built, to get the retreat built. When you stay, it's 90 days, right? 90 days?
The 30, I think she said 30, or is it 90? 90, and then it's tax, then you don't pay the taxes, that's terrible.
So that is a portion. So if we start seeing our tourism income decline some, that is going to affect that. And so I want you to keep that in mind too, that right now our hotels might not be able to hold those people that are coming from either direction of 95. But I am also pulling, the Visitors Bureau has already sent me over some Placer AI information of where our folks staying in the hotels are coming from. We are competing with Exit 121, which has been shared by the Visitors Bureau as far as the next exit of interest when it comes to like staying. So it's kind of like a thought of where our billboards are located and where our next competitive exit is. So I mean, I want to kind of task you with brainstorming on this a little bit too. I am planning to have a discussion with council at our meeting number 2 in July, just to give them an update on where our discussions are. I know that our expiration for the contract for 95 billboards is October. The Visitors Bureau has shared that if we would like to cancel that beforehand, we can. They are more than happy to take on the billboards. So I
See,
think
if people are jumping at billboards before we're even out of them, I think that's a clear indication of the value of a billboard. I mean, if people are like, hey, if you want to end your thing now, we'll
take
take
it.
over for you. I think we'd be crazy to give these up. If someone's ready to slide right into our position, I mean, I'm prepared to do some more research, and I'd like to present at the second meeting, if you guys are okay with that.
Let's do.
Yes.
so I will, like I said, if you guys have any input, I want to make sure that we justify whatever recommendation the committee does send
Yeah.
forward. And I'll be happy to translate.
Maybe the data isn't. Maybe I'm just hot and bothered over something that I shouldn't be. But I feel very strongly, and I will present whatever data, whether it's for me or it's not. Obviously, whatever's best for our town is what,
And I'll be
is
happy
what
to
we're going to
report
present.
back after I meet with Matt.
Yeah.
To see
Oh,
it.
absolutely right.
Please.
Yeah.
Generally only look at one side of the fence. Spending this, what am I getting? There's a cost for being not up there. And when you start to realize that cost, getting back there is going to be way more expensive.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
Too
So
late.
to not be up there comes with a very tangible cost.
Agreed. Well put.
Absolutely
Well
agreed.
put. Well put.
If you're going to present to
Yep.
people who are on one side or the other,
Yep.
that is something to consider.
I like that. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. And I'd like to put out that if we do the October one, we're gonna go with the shop, dine, and, we're gonna change that vinyl, right?
Well, we do have it in the budget to change the vinyl, so that would be something that and we don't have to wait till October but I would like to address the council's
Concern
request
first before we
yes,
go. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Before we proceed.
Yeah.
I think if we change some of the vinyls that bring in dine and all these other things, it may increase
Yeah.
foot traffic.
Yeah.
Because all I've ever seen is antiques, kind of.
Yeah.
So I really think if we put that shop and dine, it would,
Now that we have it.
yeah, it would make
It's the
me, because
first
we already
time.
know that it's a cute town,
Yes.
to stop for
Yep.
antique, but
Mhm.
it may bring more foot traffic.
I agree. Agreed.
I am done.
I wanted to say one thing. I've already told everybody in the room, but Steve, the barber down here at People's Barber, we're having a little gathering tonight at 5:00, because he's retiring after 21 years. So,
Oh.
I'd like to invite any and everybody from town to come and just say bye to Steve.
And so he was here for 21 years?
And somebody's taking
Wow.
over the barber shop,
Really?
and it's gonna still stay the People's Barber.
I love that.
Is that the most
That
precious?
is really awesome.
It is.
Small town.
So, yeah, I just
love
wanted to
it.
invite
Yep.
everybody. So,
Okay, that's really, really cool. All right. Motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to